All right, so today's tips and lessons is about like the way to know how I can help you today is if you feel like it's too difficult, how to handle all the different many tasks ahead of you, or do you ever like become exhausted when faced with everyday commitments? If you're a woman who works maybe a 9 to 5 professional life in a stressful, painful environment that by the time like 2 p.m. hits, that debilitating headache or mental fatigue, it's got you kind of in a loop of disaster, then, and if you kind of find yourself secretly craving um, the life of like those who have like the people like around you that might be setting their own schedule, or your boss that goes home much earlier, then this topic is for you. And I'm going to give you some really powerful solutions in the next 4 minutes that I have with you. You may also wonder if like you might be kind of like the type that gets focused on like you get concentrated on small physical conditions such as pimples or marks, or you may be setting overly high standards for yourself and your achievements, or be like full of self-reproach or guilt. So if any of these resonates with you, then what I'm about to teach you can help you. So just stay tuned, and I've got some really cool answers for you in this episode. So the name of my program is called Pain-Free Woman, and it's really designed to help you dissolve pain and design your purpose. And the basic website is painfreewoman.com. So now let's begin. There's a quote that I saw which I think relates to today's talk. It's pain cushions until our vision pulls. And there's a lot of wisdom to that. Pain cushions until our vision pulls. In other words, as long as we are not pulled heavily by the bigger vision of where we're going towards, subconsciously we end up laying down towards that, that job that doesn't pay us based on our low self-worth, or not being able to ask for our needs, not being able to get ahead in life with whether it's your salary or the schedule you want to put into place. And then there was another quote that I saw, which is really beautiful, by Peggy Tony Horton. And he says that the mind can't delete what the heart won't let go of. So before I begin to help you with some really practical stuff, I want you to realize that your heart is really important, that you get kind of like a way of getting access into the enthusiasm that's living inside you. And as you hear my voice, you can maybe pick up some of that energy, but ultimately it's really you that's going to do this. So another thing that's really important for you to know is that some of what's going on around you is not exactly necessarily all you. It's also the environment. So it's really important that you place yourself in the right environment, because I was reading something beautiful from Jedian. He says we're not designed to deal with the many stress-inducing situations of the 21st century. For most of human history, the stressors we face were mainly physical, like running away from wild animals. Now they're almost entirely psychological. When was the last time you were frightened by a lion, right? Where you get into that fight or flight mode, right? So the things that cause us stress in our modern world are the ones that go inside our heads. So the first key is to really resolve that mental chatter and begin to really work off and getting out of the head and opening up that heart, which says the mind can't delete what the heart won't let go of. So if you get stuck in your head with the anguish, and the energy is not moving to the other parts of your body, that's already just the knowledge of being able to pinpoint that is already a big step towards moving forward. So in the next couple minutes, let's talk about some powerful strategies. Let's see. The first one is, I want you to take the first strategy is take the discipline and the habits of a heavy cigarette smoker, right, without the cancer stick. And I want to discuss that with you. So I want you to imagine someone who smokes a pack a day, right? Now there's something phenomenal to learn from this person, and there's something really obviously cancerous to drop. But I want to pick up the positive and drop the negative. So let's look at it. Here's all the habits that a heavy smoker has. They always step out for a break. They always inhale and exhale in a disciplined fashion, maybe 5, 10, 15 times a day when they step out to do this, right? They go to a dedicated place to do this. And the other thing about it is that they make sure to always have a supply of what their needs are. So the beauty of this is that you can actually take the discipline here from someone who is using this cancer stick and take the discipline and drop the cancer stick. Now, why am I telling you this? Because it's such an easy example to look at, because you know so many people around you that, or you've seen people that have this habit, or you may have been a smoker, or you may still be a smoker, and or you may have been a smoker and now you're a non-smoker. But my point of this talk is not about smoking, it's just the metaphor of how stress builds up and how a smoker deals with stress. And how powerful that is, that they take breaks, their unconscious mind is pushing them to take those breaks to release the anxiety, but unfortunately that cigarette is actually injecting them with the poison of that cancer stick. So for number one, learn from the smoker, take the good habits every time you see one of them, and drop the cancer stick. Take daily breaks at work and just do basic breathing. Inhale, very simple. You don't need to be a yoga expert or a meditation expert. Simply inhale through your nose, hold your breath for 5 seconds, and exhale twice as long. If you do this 15 times and you take a break every 2 hours, so that's, let's say, even if you just do this 3 times a day, every 2 hours you take a 5-minute break and you do this, you get into a trance mode. Your brain moves into alpha state from the heightened perception state, which is gamma, and moves into alpha and theta just by simply doing 10 to 15 breaths of the type that I'm teaching you. And you also end up refreshing your brain cycle and moving your body into your heart and your lung, which allows for a whole new level of creativity, stress release, oxygen to your body. That's tip number one. And you might be asking, like, why are you giving such simple tips? I could have read this on the internet. And the answer is that this is the stage one of the video of my teachings, because without this, you can't go to the next level. So I'm helping you graduate to the next level. Tip number two is stretch, right? Simply after you do those breaths, do a little stretch your arms out into the sky. You don't need to be an expert, just do whatever feels right as you just stretch your arms, stretch your shoulders out. And you can use my CD called Healing Mental Chatter. It's free on YouTube. Or you can, later on I'll tell you how to enter your email so you can get like a series of powerful hypnosis CDs as a powerful, amazing gift from me, very high content, high value gift. And tip number two is decide on your self-worth. Decide to act from a self-worthy place. In other words, whatever you're doing, whatever people are doing to you, you're probably doing it to yourself at a very unconscious level. The patterns, you're letting people do that to you because you're doing it to yourself. So if you feel that your boss talks down at you, if you feel your peers around you behave in a specific way that's just not helping you, realize that a lot of it has to do with also the way you're relating to yourself. At the beginning, it might be subtle, but I want you to start moving your posture where you stand more straight and start getting out of environments that you've created yourself into a victim of the society of that environment, and start raising your worth so that on the next move, the next stage of your life, you can actually either become someone who creates your own reality in your own schedule, or someone who asks for your needs, whether it's for a raise or for whatever the environment is that you're creating. And tip number three is ask yourself, what's going to happen if you continue like this, and what's the cost of not dealing with this issue that's come up for you? Whether it's the mental chatter, the chronic pain, the stress that you're feeling in your body, write down exactly what's going to happen if you don't deal with this. This is really powerful. Some people don't want to go here, because the other day I was asked to speak at the Law of Attraction Network radio, and everybody talked about focusing on the positive, focusing on the positive. And there's a place for focusing on the positive, and there's also a place for focusing on what's going to happen if I don't deal with this now, because they're both extremely necessary. Your subconscious mind needs to know clearly what those boundaries and offsets and gateways are if you don't deal with it, so that it could push you towards dealing with what you want and going towards the direction of what you need most. So make a list of what's going to happen if you continue like this, and what's the cost. What's the cost of also not getting some expert help in your life, trying to do it all by yourself. And, you know, some people just want to do everything on their own, and they never reach out. And we're not designed that way, because the universe has so many different people with different talents to bring different elements, and you can't do it all by yourself. So what's the cost of just trying to do it all by yourself and sticking to this Einstein says, you know, you can't change the thinking that you can't change the thinking that was created by the same brain or something like that. I don't remember exactly the quote, but basically, you know, you can't come up with the thoughts if you're stuck in the mud. You can't come up with new thoughts. You kind of sometimes need someone to lift you out and then do it on your own. So that's why I'm making this video for you, to help lift you already. And those are the 3 tips. So just to review them, remember the smoker and learn the good parts, drop the bad habits, stretch, and listen to my CD called Healing Mental Chatter on YouTube. Ask yourself what's going to happen if you continue like this. What's the cost of not taking action and getting into that state of self-worth? So those are the exercises. I'm going to leave you with a little affirmation and tell you how to sign up to get my 30-day powerful e-course, all as a powerful gift. This is a $500 gift I have for you. Simply by entering an email, you're going to get it. But before I do that, here's the affirmation. In the darkest hours, I find courage and faith in a divine power. When the need is greatest, God's help is nearest. Your mental anguish is beginning to fade off into a distance. The limits of what you can possibly endure have been reached, and you have hit rock bottom, so it cannot go down anymore. It's bouncing up as of this moment. You can feel, taste, and touch the light at the end of the tunnel in your fingertips. Each and every day, you're becoming more and more trusting of positive vibes and pleasures, and you release all guilt. You accept your mistakes, that you're human. You forgive yourself. You love and accept yourself. So that's the affirmation I want to leave you with, and you could repeat this again and again. And so I want to invite you, if you love this video, then click on the button below or the link below the video that you're watching, whether it's on my website or on the YouTube video, and subscribe to my channel to get my series of 12 powerful tips each week. I'm going to be doing similar video to this, but we're going to build up on it every week. And it'll be updated videos that won't be released until the week after. And then you can come on over to my website, which is naturalpaindrain.com, naturalpaindrain.com. That's also listed down there. And you can once you go on my website and enter your email, your name and your email, you're going to get my hypnosis relaxation CD called Sleep Sanctuary as a gift, which is a $97 value. You're going to get 30 days of an extremely effective e-course and a live virtual natural stress release event, which is online, that you could listen to. It's going to begin to shift how you manage stress and how you release it. You'll get my 20-minute coaching session, which is by itself worth $997. It's a 20-minute coaching session, laser session. I charge $1,000 per hour, so this is really value I'm throwing out for you. And you'll be able to get that through taking the quick zone test, which the link is also down there. All of that stuff will be sent to you once you put your email, so you can follow up with that. And so I'm really excited to have started this whole movement called Pain-Free Woman. And let's go ahead and grab it, because the capacity is almost maxed out and I don't want you to lose out. Also, let's see if there's anything else I forgot. Yeah, so that's the basics. I'm really glad to give you those gifts. And let's get started. This is Shahin Jedian signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.